That, and I have a, I think Patrick, you might even looked at that ZPU card that I think I sent you one to look at way back when, and
Hmm.
you couldn't have any luck with it. I don't think the ZPU. I don't think it worked for you either.
Well, it worked. I had I think the same problem I had, but because I was in the 8800C that I think
Yeah,
Mike did the fix for. So you can change the. I think I was just having the same
well, maybe
problem.
that's
It
the problem.
Oh, the
didn't work.
Cromemco.
Uh,
That's the Cromemco
yeah,
Z.
Oh, that a
Yeah,
Comanco?
so yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I got the Kamenko card. Actually, if I throw it into the Kamenko chassis, then maybe I won't have. Was it the actual? There's no
It,
front panel.
it,
I right now
it,
it's on
Oh,
a
okay.
nine slot, standard
the
S100 board.
Cromemco ZPU works in a 9-slot backplane. It just doesn't work with the Altair 8800 front panel.
I
Yeah,
think it
okay, yeah,
might. I think it'll work with an Altair front panel. It won't work with the 8800C front panel.
Right,
gotcha. Okay.
right.
This has no front panel, and I'm just it's just doesn't. I can literally drop in my CompuPro 88 88. It's the combination one, the 8805 and 80 or something. Yeah,
8805.
thank you. That one I drop in and set it to the same ROM and everything, and it just comes right up, and then I put this ZPU in there, and I can see it. So yeah, I don't have a front panel, but I have that little display board that I can jump, and I can actually see it starting off there. So it's going to the right jump location, but then it just goes off into La La Land, and I
Yeah,
have to trace it.
the Cromemco's ZPU, you can modify it. Mike did the demo on how to modify it so that it will work with his front panel, Altair 8800C
Yeah,
front panel.
I'm trying to put it into the Z2. I have a Z2
Yeah,
chassis that's empty,
the
so
Cromemco doesn't need modification for the Z2. You just plug it in and use it. All you do, the only
okay,
change
okay,
on it
Yeah,
is
Joe. Joe,
setting
well,
the
come on, just plug it in.
Oh, it
yeah,
was the board I sent them was a working board. So all you
yeah,
have to do is set the address
Joe, I
yeah,
on.
wish I could remember. I think because I just have a little like 5/6 slot.
yeah.
If I recall, it worked okay.
So at the time we did a few things. I think I said the ZPU and then a couple of those
Yeah, I can't remember.
SD the STUS one the one
Right.
hundreds and 200s and stuff like that. So I think it was at about the same time, and I can't remember if that one. I thought you said you maybe it didn't work with the front panel, and that's where you stopped, and then maybe that's what I'm remembering.
Yeah, and then
Um,
I got my Crememco clone,
yeah,
built it, and yours worked identical to my clone. So I thought, okay, well, there's nothing wrong with the boards. There's something
yeah.
with the 8800C, but I
I,
thought I
I
just tried it in my little
I'm
chassis without a front panel. I thought I
I'm
was
wondering
running
if
software.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's the nine slot chassis. I don't remember what I have with those jumpers out front. If any of those would be messing it up, the 53 pin 5370 and whatever the other pin is.
Yeah.
On the 9 slot, you shouldn't use any jumpers for these machines.
That's right.
I can't, yeah, I can't remember what if I did had them set for something else. Like I said, the CompuPro works fine in it, and and I even have made sure I have it set. They're both using the same address to jump to, so
Yeah, but
I'll figure it out.
if you're building an Altair 8800 compatible computer with the 9-slot backplane, you don't need any jumpers on that
Yeah,
backplane.
yeah,
You don't even need all those extra parts. Uh, uh, all that extra
yeah.
stuff is for IEEE.
I just have the LEDs hooked up and the reset switches is all I have, and obviously the slots. So
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
even hook
okay,
up the reset switch.
uh,
There's a reset on the front panel of the computer.
yeah. Oh no, I like the reset because mine is just sitting in a frame for me to drop boards in.
Uh,
Um, so okay, well, enough of that stuff. Yeah, well, if I get into a programming thing where I can demonstrate something, I will. I had something I wrote back a bit that I don't know if there's any interest, but essentially what you load it's a hex. It's a program you load into memory, and then it lets you do a hex dump of any section of memory to the screen, and then you can save that to a file by cutting and pasting. So it just
Oh,
generates a hex file from.
that's built into the monitors.
Yeah, no, that's for me to build it into my monitor. I had to write a separate program. So but again, you never know. There's little tools like that.
I sent an email to the guy in Serbia to see if he can add a button or something in the load section of his simulator to load in a monitor program and have it run before you start using his simulator, so you can use the console display to do stuff just like you do on a regular Altair or whatever. So I'm hoping he looks at that. I sent them copies of ALTMON and AMON, so that he can take a look. I don't know if he's gonna do it or not, but I'm hoping he does, because I tried. He has a load function to load a hex file, but I haven't been able to figure out how to get it loaded and run. The first error I got was because at the end of the hex files, they have all those weird characters for like 1.5 lines. And so as soon as I deleted them and had just the hex code in there, then it loaded the stuff. But I can't get the monitor to run in that simulator. But that would make this simulator a lot more valuable.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't played with it. I think I watched a video where you were using it for something, but I haven't played with it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it shows you all the registers and everything, and it's not like the web one that came up from John. So it's the screen. You can resize each of the little windows, and so you can get the fonts big enough so you can actually see things happening in the computer section. You got your editor, your RAM display, your main control display that has all the registers and stuff. You can get it all set up on this one screen. I got a 1080p monitor and everything fits perfect and I can see it all. So it's a big step better than just using the Altair for messing around with, you know, um, assembly language programs and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I say, if he can add it so that I can get the monitor running, or at least tell me how to get the monitor running in that simulator, that's going to be a huge plus.
Oh, it's cool. It's cool stuff. Uh, so what have the guys been up to?
Uncovering weird shit on the internet.
Nice.
You're
So,
doing what?
so I
Is it?
found this thing. Here, let me post this. Let me post this.
Found a
Remember,
thing.
remember, this is a family channel.
Oh no, this is just where are we?
I'm just having fun with
There
you, man.
Okay, so I found this guy has
Oh,
published
virtual
a.
museum, yeah.
Have you seen this before? This guy has published this collection of emulators and OSs. It's a 176 gig download.
Oh wow.
And it's, what does he say? 250 different platforms, 570 plus OSs. And it's everything you've ever heard of and then some. It's amazing.
Oh,
I
thank you
just
for
don't
sharing.
I just don't want to download 100 because you have to download 170 odd gig zip and then expand it. So you're going to need about 300 or 400 gig of free hard disk space.
He
Yeah,
doesn't
he's got
offer individual downloads.
He offers another version, which is a little funkier, where you download the kind of the framework that sits on the top,
Yeah.
and then as you want to play with the OSs, it pulls them down individually.
Okay.
Or you can
Yeah.
down, and then the whole thing is really well thought out. The whole thing is designed around the snapshot concept. So all of the
Okay.
OSs that are in here are snapshotted. So
Yeah.
if you mess something up, you just say restore to original, and it puts it back the way it was. So it undoes it.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah. And snapshots, I don't know if you've used them in the real world, but they are the most wonderful thing when you work in IT and you're testing new
Yeah.
stuff. being able to just push a button and undo the last 4 hours of breaking somebody's server is wonderful.
Well,
Oh yeah,
that's why I
we
have
use some
version 1,
VMware.
version 2, version 3, version 4. But
Oh, this is the
version
OS level.
Yeah,
version 59, I finally got something working.
right. Right, but
So
with snapshots, Walt, if you haven't used these with snapshots, you basically freeze the disk image, and then as you make changes, it writes it to a separate file, and then you can make, and so you can roll back in time very quickly, in a matter of
yeah,
seconds, to where you were before.
just
Things that, I mean, I used it for years when I was supporting VMware systems. Uh,
same here. We
right.
still use it.
You
Yeah.
snapshot it all the time.
The only problem you have is if a system admin turns it on, does one last update, and then leaves it running, but nobody
Right.
monitoring that it was running for about a month and a half.
Oh, yeah.
Then try to roll it forward because everything's working fine.
Right. And it takes, yes. Yeah.
It took me forever, but the VMware team had access to. There was some low level commands they could do that did it
I'm
a
so
lot
sad to
quicker.
see the back end of VMware.
So I bought one of those was it device side things
Yeah.
for the floppy, and then someone else posted a link for a link for an affordable version of the Grease Weasel.
Yeah.
But
Grease weasels are great. I have one. I
well,
love it.
most of them online are for sale. Are like $75 on up. But somebody posted a link
Yeah.
to one where you could get it for $20.
Well, you could buy the not the blue pill, but the one of the ST boards for like $3
Yeah.
and do a version of Grease Weasel on it.
Yeah.
Well, I bought the $20 assembled, ready to go Grease Weasel, $20.
That's pretty good. I don't think I paid much more than that for mine when I
I
bought
think
it.
I think I paid 30.
Yeah,
And then
sounds
I
about
printed out
right.
my own little 3D case, or they
Yep.
might even throw one in. And so mine's
Yep.
mine's not the fancy one with the drives.
No.
It literally you have to plug the cable in, and your drives are
Right.
external, but that's no problem.
Yeah.
So now what you said that you can use a chip and load it onto what kind of chip is that?
Oh, yeah, you
Load
can
the
build
stuff
your
on?
own. It's open source.
I think it's a
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's a
I
blue
ordered
pill.
PCBs. I ordered 5 PCBs and built up several of my own. But yeah, you should order the chip, and then you have to do the programming, which is pretty easy.
Well, I think
Program chip.
if you go and buy a blue pill, that's a whole little circuit board.
Blue pill. Okay.
I think that's it. Let me get it.
Isn't that Viagra? No.
I
think it's
thought
the advertisement.
Gerber files were online
Yeah.
somewhere.
It sounds like Todd had boards done up, so maybe they probably are online, right?
Yeah. I don't know which version, whether the 4.1, which is the current version of Grease Weasel, or 4.0, which is what I have.
I built the 4.1s with the USB-C
Yeah.
connector on it.
Yeah.
Here's-
Yeah,
4.1 was
I just
out when I
use
bought mine.
their Gerber files
Mhm.
and just sent them JLC PCB and had them done up.
Here's one I built.
There you go.
It uses this is called the blue pill. This
Okay.
board. It's a whole board. It's like I think $5, and it has an STM32 IC on it. Is the main
Yeah.
IC. There's my
Okay,
tip.
it's an ARM Cortex M3 board. Okay.
Yeah, the
Blue pill.
outfit I bought
Okay.
mine from had those kits on it too.
Okay.
But I chose to just buy the whole regular
Thanks, Terry.
thing.
Yeah, here's the blue pill by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You say that those are relatively cheap?
Yeah, they're like
Well,
$5.
Yeah, there's something like that. $5,
Yeah,
$10.
I see them are a bunch of different.
Kinda
I see
looks
blue
like-
pill and black
Yeah.
pill and
It was pretty
Kinda-
famous for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of looks like a nano.
There's also the black pill.
right. So here's a blue pill development system. Minimum system is $40 from Amazon. Oh, with 2 blue pills in it, so it's not bad. Yeah. So yes. But yeah, the Grease Weasel, once you get used to it, yeah, it's I've been doing some 8-inch floppy imaging with it, and you have to tinker. Let's just say. Especially
Yeah.
now I'm back at the command line. I'm having to learn how to actually manipulate the command line. Because for Windows, there's a nice little GUI that you can use that
Yeah.
somebody wrote that sits on the front end and makes it effortless. But if
Yeah.
on the Mac, the GUI doesn't run on the Mac, so I'm
I've
currently
I've been having Chat GTP search online for how to do different things with both
right.
Grease Weasel and the device side board and
Mhm.
that. And it keeps recommending that third board. This one does all of the stuff.
What?
Uh,
Yes.
Yeah, I
Well,
even give it a list of all the floppy drives that I have, and it still recommends the best drive to use is the TAC 55 GFR
Yeah.
drive, even though it'll say the 55 BR is better suited for like 360 and smaller floppies. It says if you're going to use a grease weasel or the I forget what the device side number is, like 5025, something like that. It still says use the GFR drive because overall that's the best one for all formats.
Amazon is selling the blue pills for as low as $10 for 2 of them.
wow.
okay, cool. I'll go take a look for that. It's always
Do
good
you
to have
then
different
flash
tools.
the Grease Weasel firmware on there then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the one I found for like $38 was 2 blue pills and a programmer, which
Oh,
is
so maybe initial purchase, depending on
yeah,
do you need the programmer to program it, or is there
probably
another way
depends
of
on what
doing
you
it?
already have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You have to look at the programmers you have and are they capable of programming that? If not, yes,
yeah.
you're adding another programmer to your collection.
Yeah. It's an
Wow.
STM32. So I think just about any of the STM32 programmers will work. And this is my real, honest to God, Bluetooth Grease Weasel.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is which is that the same as mine?
That's the older version of it.
That's a much older version, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a couple years old. Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I have a
the
4
newer
and it's a
ones.
little different than that.
This
Does
is
a 4 have what USB port does a 4 have on it?
It has a hang on, let's grab it here.
Yeah.
I think that's why I
Okay,
went to
so
4.1 because it had a USB-C.
yeah, this had a B. It's a USB. It's the
Yeah.
old USB B on it.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I just mounted it on a board with my little converter for plugging into 8-inch floppies.
Nice.
The Flux Engine software will work with the Grease Weasels too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
What's
is
that
supposed
wall?
to be. This is a grease weasel. This is the current version.
Really?
What, the
That's newer
4.1?
Yeah.
My 4.1 looks more like
Yeah, that
10.
doesn't look like the Grease Weasel.
Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. This is the device side one.
I was going to
Oh,
say
okay.
Yeah. Didn't look at my 4.1.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it came with a ribbon cable and a CD with the software on it. And
Cool.
and of course I bought a power supply
Yeah.
Oh,
with
that's
it too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the standard grease wheel, you just power over the USB you connect it to your computer with. So you
Yeah,
don't
this
need
is USB to the PC, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, you just plug it into a USB-C and that powers and then you have to power the floppy drives, obviously, somehow.
Yeah, the more I
What?
was looking at the grease weasel stuff and device side stuff, and then I was feeding Chat GTP more and more information, including a list of the drives I have. And then I added to Chat GTP, I told it I got a Packard Bell 486 that has a 3.5-inch drive and a 5.25-inch
Right.
drive. And it told me I should just be using that.
I don't know. Is that flipped? I
The
see
one
it backwards.
The one I have, I think at least it's written on the box that I have it in, Grease Weasel -7 Plus.
That's the really old one, I think.
Well, it can't be more than about 3 years old, I don't think.
Yeah, mine's a couple years old and it's a 4.
Yeah, I have the
And then the current
4.1.
is a 4.1.
Yeah, I pick up the
But then
4.1.
a lot of them are made,
ahead.
a lot of them, since it's all open source, the people you buy them from mark them up their own way.
Yeah. I actually I think I have one, but then I have two. One of them was an AliExpress type purchase, so who knows what
Okay.
kind of weasel it is. You know? So I had a question. Anybody hear of MCore? It's a relatively old microcontrollers. It's Motorola. Anybody? I don't know if that's. I see it as reversed on my screen. Is that flipped on you guys, or is it?
No, that's right.
That's
That's
right.
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 Okay. So my
I've heard of them. That's as much as I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I call the name
Again,
from the day.
I happened to be going at a ham fest, and it was on the free table. A whole manual, the discs, a couple
Wow.
controllers.
Oh.
I have no interest in it. I was going to just list it up on eBay. I mean, honestly,
I have no
and
interest,
actually,
but I'll add it to the pile.
yeah. Well, no. I mean, again, it literally has a whole board to program in it and everything. I mean,
Wow.
it was. I don't know why it was on the free table unless it doesn't work.
Or somebody
But
put it down there by mistake.
Yeah, he bought it, just spent $50 on it, and placed it down there when he was taking a book or something. But I don't know. It was only next to a box of donuts. I'm not sure why the donuts were free. People have some great sense of humor at these flea market or yard. That was a ham fest. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, it was just something I was hoping that it was something that somebody could actually use. Saying, "Oh yeah, I needed one of those for some old project or something."
Right.
I'm not looking to make tons of money on this thing. Like even it has the software and technical documentation. I think
What's
it's from the '90s. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's probably been discontinued.
Yeah, it's a CD and saying 1995 to 2000. So 2000. Motorola MMC 2107 MCore. Again, I'm not gonna. I can mention it maybe in the S100 meeting because if somebody there, I'd rather give somebody there who oh yeah, I can really use it as opposed to me,
Right.
you know what I mean. So
Problem is, a lot of stuff like that, I think, has been modernized and can do the job better than that original package.
oh
And so
yeah,
that original package might be just something for a collector
Right.
rather than a user.
yeah. I'm thinking it might be some collector, somebody who has a system that they designed around it, and maybe it's harder to find the chips. Like I said, it comes with the development board and two processors. So again, this wasn't a money making thing. It was I hate to say the free table goes to the trash bin, and it bothered me that something like that was going to go to the trash bin. I also have stacks of Singer manuals for teletypes and some of their electronic things that I'm just going to list in case somebody actually has some Singer test instruments. So,
and then Walt, once you've got your scanned images, what I use is this, the HXC software for doing conversions.
yeah.
Conversions for what?
So it'll take like the flux image that you get from the grease weasel and convert it to like a DSK image for use on like something else.
Oh,
So you
okay,
convert, so you can use it to look at the image and also to convert the image to other formats. It's a really useful piece of software.
So the grease weasel, you grab the image off the disk, you now have it in flux format, and then at that point,
you can convert it to other things.
What's the name of the software? Because I
just posted the link, HXC 2001.
Yeah, but they got 10 different pieces of software.
Oh, you go down to the software and you want the floppy emulator software. Because this is also the HXC floppy emulator. But yeah, the piece where it says software further down the page.
Okay, I'm in the software section. So it's that. Yeah.
You want the emulator software and then get the user's manual from there. And that'll let you, like I said, tweak things. The other stuff is if you use their physical floppy emulators, which I use. Like like these guys. The other part is these guys, the
Oh,
floppy
yeah.
yeah, which are awesome.
Yeah, I've got a
Is
couple
that
of those.
is
My,
that like those GoTech drives?
yeah,
Yes, only it's much better made. It's much better made, and they make it in different formats. So this one is standalone, and then I have the 3.5-inch floppy format for my micro engine. So that's playing all pretending to be the hard disks for floppy disks for my micro engine. So it's but anyway, if you get the software, it'll read in the flux images. You can look at them. You can actually inspect the individual sectors in the images by track. It's really it's because it's got this virtual disk display where it shows you all the tracks and from the flux image. It's quite a rabbit hole, but it's useful. That's how I figured out for what was it for Pete when Peter was having problems booting his system. Um, that's how I figured out that the images he was using were not what we thought they were because they were they were 5.25, not 8-inch images, and which is why they
Yeah.
would boot. And they were missing stuff in the boot sectors, and you could actually read the boot sectors. It was pretty cool.
yeah, I've got a couple of those HXC GoTechs
Yeah,
in my K Pros.
yeah,
Yeah.
They're great, except if I remember, he charges like $20 per image.
huh? What do you mean?
The author, the guy
Oh,
that sells the HXC.
oh, I bought them
Oh, yeah.
from the guy
Yeah.
from this Lothark or whatever it
Yeah,
is. Yeah,
Lorthar. Yeah,
but I bought his ready-made stuff, and then yeah.
yeah. I bought the image and burned it into GoTex.
Right. Yeah. I'd rather than go that way. Yeah. Well, he's still trying to make a little money,
Yeah,
so I don't blame him. The people guy that buy the Gotex rather than his hardware, but his hardware is really solid and nice and easy to use.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I actually think I mixed up because I was thinking Grease Weasel was a Chinese thing. AliExpress. No, it's the Gotex. You can get those.
Gotex. Yeah, the Gotex are Chinese. This guy
Yeah,
is in Europe somewhere,
yeah.
in Eastern
yeah. Oh,
Europe
yeah, yeah.
somewhere.
You're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, sure.
Poland?
Sure. It's
Poland that he is? I think he's in Poland. Anyway, but he's quite
probably.
responsive. If you
Is
send
he
him emails,
still shipping to the U.S.? I mean, that's been the
well,
problem.
it's been a while since I bought anything from him, so I don't know.
So that
Yeah.
device is sold by that HXC company?
Well, it's sold by sort of. Those devices are sold by this guy, Lothark.
Put the link in the chat.
Let me see if I can. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
go to hxc2001.com.
Well, that gives you the software.
Well, if you go back, you go to home after that.
It's yeah, okay. You go. Yeah, because HXC is the software side of what he does. And then yeah, he sells them through his other site. But yeah,
You
he's
go
got a
for the
bunch of products.
hardware thing?
He sells a bunch of hardware, which are the floppy emulators. But anyway, if you're trying to emulate floppies and not use the real thing and beat yourself into the ground, then they're great.
Right, but I mean, he's got a page full of
Oh
things.
yeah.
Has anybody ever gotten like a GoTech to work for the Altair, or is it because they're hard sector?
No, I don't think so because of the hard sectoring. Most of these
Yeah.
floppy emulators won't do hard sectored. Although I
Yeah.
think it's being worked on. People are trying because they want to,
I
but
think
I
in
haven't
4.1 I
seen.
read that. Yeah, okay,
Yeah, I
sorry.
haven't seen any software that supports hard sector yet.
I thought the latest version of the 4.1 stuff said somehow had some hard sector support, but it wasn't. I think it
Yeah,
wasn't ready for prime time yet or
right.
something.
Yeah,
Again,
but
yeah, you throw one of Mike's gadgets in between, then you're emulating to an Oh, God help me!
you put too
I'm
many
on, I'm on,
emulators in a row.
I'm on his shop page, but I don't see anything that looks like what you were showing us.
Hang on a sec. Give me a second. Give me a second here.
Go to the purchase page. Go to the purchase page and then go on Drive Emulators.
I see what looks like larger things that look
Okay.
more like a GoTech, but it says case. There's one case.
Yeah, I just posted the link to his hardware site.
Okay, yeah, that's a different whole
Yeah,
different.
so this is the hardware that runs all the HXC software. And then you can also take the HXC software and put it on GoTech hardware out of China with a little tweaking and it'll work, apparently. I've not tried that part.
Well, that's what I've used. Again,
Yeah.
So
I've got
far,
on a couple K Pros and a homemade
Right.
Zenith.
Okay. But yeah, either way,
Oh
I
yeah,
just,
yeah.
yeah.
H89. Oh, that's a hard sector.
Oh,
The
so
H89.
no, I'm not a Zenith. Xerox
Yeah.
820.
Okay.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, the reason I like this, guys, is I can use SD cards rather than USB sticks for the images,
Yeah.
which is a little cleaner.
yeah, now on that hardware page, he's got Atari things and ZX.
Yeah. Oh, he sells a bunch of other stuff as well. Yeah.
Right, but which drive is the one to get for working with an Altair?
With an Altair, I don't know.
I
Because
don't know if
remember,
any of them,
Altair, you're looking at hard sectored. And none of these guys do hard sectored yet. For soft sectored stuff, you're fine. Whether they would work, it might work if you set up one of these emulators for soft sectored and you use the FDC Plus in its 801 mode, where
yeah,
Mike's doing
Mike's,
this weird tweaking where
yeah.
it talks to a soft sectored floppy but pretends to be a hard sectored floppy for the OS. That might work. I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, give it a try and then do a demo.
Uh-huh. I'll put it on the list, Walt.
That's,
I'll put it on the list.
oh well.
I got about 3 other things. I went back and looked at a punch tape reader design, somebody else's design, and I think I want to modify it and build one.
Cool.
So it's this guy here. Hang on a second. What I particularly like about this one, first of all, the reader has an illumination and a reader with matching LEDs and photosensors, which is kind of nice. But the other thing it does, which is pretty cool, is it has 2 serial ports on it. So you plug your terminal in one side and the computer in the other side, and it uses a relay, an actual physical relay, so that you can be typing on the terminal, and then when you hit load, it loads off the tape and sends it to the computer, so like a teletype machine would.
Yeah.
It's where both the punch tape and the terminal are on the same thing. But there's a couple of
know
things.
if they have to run the same baud rates?
Yes, they do have to run the same baud rates.
Okay.
But he does
Yeah,
some other things that are really interesting. So in his software, you can set the transmission rate for characters independent of the baud rate. So you can say, I'm at 9600 baud, but I only want to send 20 characters a second. And it will slow it down. And it's actually got a motor on the pickup spool that he does speed control on, so he doesn't overrun. And then the other thing that he did that was way cool is he has a mode where if you're reading in like a basic program, it senses the carriage returns and pauses for a few milliseconds to let the basic interpreter read the line. So it puts the pause at the end of every line you read in.
Yeah,
So
David made that thing originally for the Altair Duino computers.
Yep.
And if you go to the Altair Duino
Right.
group, you can find all kinds of questions and answers there for it.
But I thought I might
That's
take a
cool.
look at this because it looks kind of cool. A couple things in his design I don't like. He's hardwired the ribbon cable out of the reader, soldering
Yeah.
the wires directly onto the board. That's no, I don't want to do that.
No.
So I need to redesign the board with a connector. And then the serial ports on it are TTL, so I'd want to put like a Max 32 in there, 232 in there to give it actual serial. And since it only uses transmit and receive on each one chip will do both serial ports. So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
but he publishes all the Gerber files are there for his version. All the schematics are there. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll just load up those schematics and build my own version.
Yeah, the TTL, that was one of the things in the discussion. Somebody tried hooking it up to RS-232, and I think they blew up their board or something like that.
Yeah, you can't potentially, what is it, 15 volts or whatever some terminals put out.
Yeah,
If you pump that into
Yeah.
directly into the TTL inputs, yeah, it'll fry them.
yeah. Well,
But you
that
put
was,
a
when they said that, that was what stopped me from building one.
right, but if you what I'm looking at is if I add a Max 232 in there, that'll do all the level conversions, and now we don't need to worry about any of the TTL stuff.
Right.
Oh.
Otherwise, you're putting converters out of that in external. I thought, why not just add it in a couple of DB25s or whatever on the board to plug into? So
And that other board he has in front of it, I forget what the heck that was.
that's the controller.
Yeah.
That's the
You know,
controller.
if you can make everything into one board,
Well, the stack on the back is actually like 5 boards sandwiched. Because there's a board with LEDs in it for illumination.
right.
There's another board with just holes in it to line them up perfectly. Then there's a spacer. Then there's another board with holes, and then there's another
Yeah,
board with the sensors.
that part I think is based on that one from Germany.
Yeah, I think
That
so too.
I had built one of those, and then somebody offered me like $75 for it, so I sold it instead of keep it.
Right.
I was going, okay, you know, I haven't even
Love it.
tested it, but apparently it worked for the guys. But
Yep.
the thing is, that whole stack you can put on top of a circuit board. So if you have the controller and to put the space in there for that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, this is kind of on my list of this looks like, all the stuff, all the design's been done. All I need to do is add the serial converters and then put a connector on so it's not a hardwired ribbon cable, which, like I said, is a no-no in my game. No-no for me anyway. Yeah, I've had too many bad experiences with ribbon cables broken out and wired onto things. They
Oh,
tend to
yeah.
break. They break very easily. So it's going to get a connector on the sensor, and then
are you
I got to
gonna,
work on the transport. I think the transport might be a fun little side project to replace the DC motor he uses with a stepper motor to get better speed control.
so on the serial ports, are you going to use just IDC connectors, or are you going to have both IDC and our D9 connectors?
I have no idea yet. That's probably considering how fast my projects go, that's probably a decision for 3 or 4 months from now.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking if you have both connectors on there, then that might be handy for different people.
Yeah. Or I could try and convert you all. I could put DB25s on there and make you join
Yeah.
DB25.
That's the way to go.
There you go.
Yeah, maybe I'll make you all join DB25.
Well, speaking of that, I did send the SIO board off to JLC
Awesome.
today. So.
Excellent.
Awesome. So I should start ordering some parts.
Yeah, Claude said it should work. So
Yeah. I have 3 2502s.
all right.
So I know I need 2 boards. So with 3 of those, hopefully 2 out of 3 at least will work.
I have one. It seems to work. I got the other one to transmit. So
Yeah.
I was echoing on it. So
do you have a parts list yet, or should I just pull the
oh
numbers?
no,
off the
I
board?
can build a parts list for the SIO board.
Awesome. And are you
I've
getting
got
them
a,
with the sockets on and everything, or just bare boards?
No, these are just bare, like,
Okay.
whatever the hassle with lead and just to make sure they work.
Okay.
Then I'll get some
Yeah.
real ones.
Okay.
yeah, I've got one 2502 in my stash.
Yeah.
When you do
Yeah.
them at this level, do you bother with just tin, or do you do gold socket
On the
S
on the
S100
prototype, it
side?
says tin. No, I do gold
Um,
on the real ones.
No,
yeah.
real ones, yeah, no, I know
Yeah.
that, but for this prototype, you'd normally do tin,
No,
right?
yeah,
Or
the cheap ones.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, what are they, like $5 each?
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was
I
You
got
figuring.
can,
I
you
this.
can, at
It's funny.
that
I got.
size, you can still get them for $5 each.
Oh yeah. It's like 5 of them is $15 or something.
it's the DH DCL or whatever it is,
Right.
the
Yeah,
DL whatever
and then
H, the
$40
shipping
in
that kill
shipping.
you.
So that's
Exactly.
why I
Yeah,
always try to pull stuff together.
yeah,
Yeah.
But I'd also modified one of Monahan's prototype boards.
Yeah.
He has one that's just all a bunch of holes in it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
yeah,
that's really hard. I thought, why don't I just have a bunch of sockets with some headers on the side? Then you can
Yeah.
just shove it in and just route wires where you want.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So
this, if you want to play with that kind of stuff, this is a really great board. Where'd my camera go?
You bopped it up.
I must have bumped it. Oh, there it's finding me again.
Yeah, there you
This is a really great board. And you can buy these replicas of these. This is the IO2 board.
yeah.
okay. Oh yeah.
Music.
Solid State Music IO2 board.
Yeah,
And they
thank you.
sell
Yeah.
these. So basically they've got your standard 5-volt stuff here. Sockets for some 8212s here. Some places to put your output ports, and then basic logic for address decoding. And then in the manual, it's got a bunch of, here's some places to start from, but there's all of this area here, and up here, and up here even to some extent is just for whatever you want to do. So they're quite nice. It's a quite nice design for a vintage design for a prototype board. So this
Yeah.
one's set up as a couple of parallel ports, or a parallel port rather.
That John Monahan's I think it's called 3S2 or 3P2S or something like that, experimenter board.
Right.
He started that when I asked him, can't you just make an experimenter board that just has 1 or 2 serial ports on the bottom part and then a space above where we could put our own projects into? And then he blew it into, and then it's full of all kinds of features and stuff. And by the time you can't figure out how to use the damn thing.
Oh, this one,
Oh, go ahead.
to say the buffered prototype board. Yeah, that actually looks like it's a good mix. Yeah.
Yeah. So
You
this
just
is
DuPont
John's
cables,
board.
right?
Yeah, and his had just all these holes, and I just wanted to like put some like check the address decoder and
Right.
controlling the UART. And it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta like solder all these wires. But I thought, what if I just like the headers next to each pin just go to those pins. You
Right.
could run 5 volts to it. Then if you got to run from this one to that one and that one to that one, you just run all your jumpers.
Yeah.
You know what might be useful on there?
Huh.
A little line of LEDs that you could just jumper to.
Well, the 74, the 240 on the top right,
Yep.
that's basically an input and output. And then I have this little LEDs on these boards.
Got it.
That's what I did that for. I probably will add LEDs to it down the road, but
yeah, I was just thinking that might be kind of useful just to have some.
What would be nice would be is one strip of holes separated from all those other ones that's just labeled 5 volts. And then another one that's separate from everything labeled ground.
well, if you look at the below all the little holes, you got P59, 61, all these. Those are all 5 volt ground.
Oh, so 5-volt and ground, 5-volt. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you have
I
12
did
volt on there as
move
well.
some
Okay,
of his labels around and stuff because the problem with his board is as soon as you put in your sockets, you can't read any of the stencil anymore.
Right.
So he says, yeah, plug it into, U108. It's like, well, which one's U108?
Right.
So on your silk screen, it should be labeled +5 and ground.
Yeah, I didn't get around. I did add I did put 8-volt and ground and some on the ones below it, but I didn't put +5 and ground on those. And
I think when I looked at John's board, I was going to actually just double stick tape a few prototyping boards up top, and
I tried that too.
Yeah,
and then
did
I
that
thought,
work?
wow,
Or
why don't I just put some
socket? Yeah,
14, 16, and 20 pin sockets in, and
yeah, no, it's
So
cool. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Might be nice to add a real-time clock chip.
Yeah, there you are.
as soon as
I
everyone
was
sends all their comments in, it's going to be 6 boards.
Multi-layer.
Well,
we need
well,
a
it
jumper
is
between the two of them.
It is a prototyping board, so you could make it 10 inches high.
Yeah, you could. And
And
again,
then-
I do want to change some other stuff and remove a bunch
Right.
of it. And if I just wanted to experiment with kind of this.
Yeah.
layout.
The one thing that's missing that it might be nice to have a larger socket for like a UART.
I almost, after I shipped it off today, I said I should have put a 40 pin on there. A CPU, a UART.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Some of it. And I probably wouldn't use any of these millions of holes things.
Right.
And just put other socket sizes on there, some EPROMs, ROMs.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd just experiment with these and shove an address decoder in there and see if I can make some LEDs blink and
Yeah.
Well, I think that having one section that's maybe 2 inches by 2 inches or 2 inches by 4 inches, something like that, with a million holes in it, that's going to be helpful for people that want to get like those Pico modules and things like that.
I was thinking of doing a row of headers like that. So you can shove in an ESP32 or, but because a lot of these chips down here at the bottom, I mean, they're all your buffers and things, but
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good start. I think, like you said, you see how it works out, and modify, as you could.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's
it looks cool.
I want to get that off.
Yeah.
When I was doing the
Does JLC PCB? Do they still do the global direct shipping? I know it takes a month to get to you, but
they do.
It was also only a few bucks.
It only takes like 4 or 5 days max from the time you order to when you get your board.
No. So
not New Hampshire.
So these days, if you pay for DHL, you get it in a couple days. If you pay for global shipping, they only guarantee like 3 to 5 weeks, and it's super cheap.
I ordered some boards not about a couple months ago, and within 5 days they shipped them DHL. DHL was like $25, and I got the boards in less than 5 days.
DHL's lightning. Yeah, they're fast.
So DHL's fast, but the price has gone up quite a bit.
Yeah.
I get DHL in like 2-3 days.
Yeah.
It's fast.
Oh yeah.
They do have a really cheap postal shipping option, but it's like 3 to 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's the global direct or something
right.
like that. I used to do that.
They took that off their website.
It's hidden. If you go through to right to the end, it's buried in the when you actually select your shipping, in like stage 12 of ordering or whatever it is.
Yeah, but I think they threaten whether they do the tariffs right or not or something.
Yeah, they say they don't collect tariffs, so you'll have to pay the tariffs through your postal service. So it's a raw thing.
Are they even doing the tariff stuff anymore? Honestly,
I just did an order, and there was no global shipping on the thing. And,
Interesting.
And
I don't know.
DHL was $25. It was just a flat $25 for DHL.
Wow.
And I got them. I ordered the things like on a Saturday, and about Wednesday or Thursday I had the things, had the boards.
Interesting. Because they're sure not offering that every time.
DHL's amazing.
The DHL by using DHL, it goes to the DHL port in the United States.
Right.
It bypasses a lot of that import crap, and
Well, yeah.
they just get you the stuff faster.
Yeah. But yeah, they're doing all the tariff work and everything, because I saw that on my latest one. There was a
You
line
heard
there
of-
for tariffs.
Have you
Yeah, I
guys heard
didn't
of
pay any tariffs.
Macrofab?
No, I have not.
Macrofab. They're like something came up on my search. I said, hey, don't use JLC PCB. Use us and get them in the United States. So I thought, I'll go look. So I uploaded the Gerbers, and it was $1,800 for 5 boards, and that's if I want to wait 3 or 4 weeks to get them.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see them doing much business.
That's the thing. When I made that JLC order a couple months ago, now I've got like 10 different companies telling me they can do it here in the United States cheaper. And I tested them, and they all want thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's if you're designing something that you don't want somebody to copy, I guess,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
if you're going to buy 10,000 boards or so, you might get
Yeah.
them down to that price.
Yeah. Yeah, there you are.
That's it.
Exactly.
They're looking for a company that's going to make millions of the things, not
Right.
just a handful.
Right.
Yeah.
JLC does some good stuff. I think now that I've started tinkering with Easy EDA, because that's linked directly into JLC, you're pulling from when you're putting parts on the board, you're pulling from their part catalog. So if you want to order the boards ready stuffed, it's all the information's already in there. You don't have to go hunting. So
how's the pricing for that?
Patrick?
How's the pricing for that?
I haven't looked yet.
I'd be interested. Okay.
The pricing is cheaper than DigiKey and Mauser most of the time, but not all the time.
Oh, it's cheap.
For a couple of years now, I've been telling the guys in the S100 group about Easy EDA, and they think I'm nuts or something. I go like, it's easier to use than KiCad.
Now, well, if they don't think you're nuts, the problem is John has done all his work in KiCad, so that's what they want to work on.
All. You can import any version of KiCad
it's worse than that.
into Easy EDA, and it brings it right in.
John uses about a 10-year-old version of KiCad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you've got to run it through KiCad before you can even import it because it's such an old version.
No,
so you've got to know how to do KiCad.
No. You can take the KiCad zip file and import it right into Easy EDA. Right.
I know, and I've done that.
Yeah, from KiCad 1 to KiCad 10, and it just brings it right in. Yeah, it knows how to import all the versions.
Right, because I found with John's KiCad files that they throw so many errors when you import them, even into later versions of KiCad.
But not for Easy EDA. That's
one of the reasons I gave up on KiCad, the whole John stuff, trying to modify John stuff. I've got an old version of KiCad that I keep just for his things.
Yeah, get Easy EDA, import the files into Easy EDA, and they come right in. You get all your parts and everything right there.
Well, the problem with John's thing is he uses 1,000 of these old libraries and for your footprints and things. I don't, because KiCad says like you can have like project specific.
Right.
So I don't know why all that stuff just isn't included in each project. So you just download it and you have everything you need.
Well, yeah, that's a weird thing I learned in KiCad was you can either make your part global, which means it'll go all along to anybody, or private. And he makes everything private instead of global. He needs to learn to do them global.
But he doesn't include but if they're private, then usually the library file is in the project folder.
Right.
But when you download the folder for the project, the libraries aren't there.
Yeah.
So you have to track those down. But I might try loading this into Easy EDA because there's some parts like on the 2SIO board and these other boards that I just cannot find.
Right.
You can't find the parts.
Huh?
You can't find the actual parts sometimes.
Yeah, I can't find the actual part.
Yeah.
But you can get the footprint. You can get the footprint and the schematic and everything there.
Because the SIO boards, I want everything on it. I want them to come build. Well, other than the UART, because I'm sure they won't have that. But socket that, of course.
Yeah. the way you find parts in Easy EDA, if you can't find it by the search thing, then go to Google or one of the AI things and ask it, how do I get this part in Easy EDA? And then it tells you where the part is and how to find it.
The schematic and the footprints and stuff, that's easy. It's the physical part.
Right.
That's what I
So
mean. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. Go to Google and ask Google, how do I find this part to put on my board in Easy EDA? And it
Mhm.
tells you how to find that part
Yeah.
in that LSC whatever
yeah.
part library.
On
Yeah.
easy,
Okay.
It's not
easy,
just the footprints as well, it's also the physical. So when you do the 3D view, you see all your parts in there, so you can see if things are too close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I would think what might lend me if I was actually doing some of this design. I always stayed away from surface mount, but if they're going to install them and they have them in their library, I could see me adding in surface mount. You're going to save money, where the little microchips are always
Yeah.
eighth of the cost of the other things. And so you get all the surface mount stuff pre-installed and then sockets for everything else, and that
Yeah.
might lend for easy
Yeah.
selling and easy trading and all that other fun stuff. So sorry,
And I haven't figured out how to tell them to put in a socket and then shove the chip in it.
That would be interesting.
two things in one location. I get you.
Yeah.
I'll
And
have to go, I'll have to go watch the how to do that in Easy EDA because they've got to be.
it's got to be, heat sinks
Yes.
and, voltage regulators,
Because you got to bend the pins on. Well, actually, if you're doing them with pick and place, they're already
Yeah,
bent.
there's after you import your Gerbers and you get all that stuff straight, I think it's at near the bottom of the screen. You can go to assembly, and then that's where you tell it where to do all the assembly stuff.
Yeah, I've done that. I don't know how to tell it how to put two things in one place and which one goes first.
isn't EDA online only though?
No, there's a desktop version. I run the desktop version, and then it goes out over the internet when you want to look up parts and things.
Yeah,
I should try it.
It's worth a try. I was mixed on it when I first tried it, but I'm kind of getting converted now.
It's way easier than KiCad.
Oh.
I mean, it's very similar to KiCad, but in the long run, it's still easier to use. And like I say, you don't have to have a schematic to make a board. You can just draw the board.
On the online version, do they offer some sort of help, essentially, so Patrick could ask that kind of question?
The download version and the unload have the same help.
Yeah, they've got decent help. There's
I know
tons of videos out there.
I know if you do like when you're ordering a board or something, there's always somebody asking. I know it's
they have agents while you're designing.
Yeah, agents. Thank you.
Yeah, they have agents to help you while you're doing your schematic design, while you're doing your board design, and they have agents when you're trying to order and stuff.
And I'm gonna try on the SIO board when you do the assembly. There's a checkbox that says I'm going to provide the parts or they're going to provide the parts. And if you check them, then you just give them your parts list, and I think it's $10.
Wow.
And then they actually do your parts list for you and what their parts are and all that stuff. So I might try that on the SIO board.
Yeah.
To see what they come up with. I did on the ESP32. There was just a few parts I could not find. Yeah, and I ended up doing, hey, you put the parts on the darn thing.
When I did my RoboGuts board, they did all the SMT assembly. I just said build it with just the SMT stuff. I said, I just said I'll put all the other through hole stuff on myself, and I didn't tell them anything about where it goes or anything. They just took it and made it.
Yeah, when I get the two SIO boards, I have to put in, I have to solder in the LEDs, the oscillator, and the voltage regulator and the heatsink. Because I could not find those bipolar LEDs on their site, and I could not find the oscillator at the right megahertz. That's what I say.
Go to Google and ask Google, how do you find the bipolar LED in Easy EDA? And it'll tell you.
I'm wondering if you're just better off reaching out to Easy EDA and say, hey, these are the, try to get some sort of context. These are the parts I'm trying to figure out how to get on there, how to do a socketed, through holes, just a socketed, and then a chip.
Google
And
is the
just
quickest way to find a part to put on your board. That's what I've used. I just ask Google and I get a short list of do here, this, and you're done.
Hey, Walt, I put the LED in the chat. See if you can find it on Easy EDA.
Okay, that's the Mauser part number, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the two color LED. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part I'm looking for.
Multicolor LED, multicolor. Oh, so you can get bicolor. Okay. So there's
Okay.
different versions of it with different colors. Okay.
Who's the manufacturer?
Dialight, it
Oh,
says
there
it.
it is. Yeah, Dialight. Okay, see, so I go to Google and I say, how can I find Dialight?
It's 521-9743F. There you go.
In easy.
If you type that into the JLC PCB stuff, it says, eh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Are there
Google's just tell you to
alternatives to
talk to the tech support.
Oh, there might be.
That's probably, yeah, it's probably
I
one
mean,
of
I
those
tried to
where-
find bipolar LED, blah blah blah. It's funny when you find LEDs and just how they define them are totally different. There's no consistency at all in their parts.
Oh,
Just finding an IC socket was actually a chore.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeez, I would have thought that would have been, pretty common.
Yeah, here it just says search for 521-9743F in the Easy EDA library.
Yeah, Patrick, why didn't you think of that?
Oh no.
Or skip the dash.
That was obvious.
Or skip the dash and just put all the numbers in.
Shoot.
Next, it's going to suggest just put in a red and a green LED
next to each
separate.
other.
Yeah, put two
Yes.
LEDs in.
Stop being so
That's
damn
the answer.
fancy.
But
Yeah,
that,
stop being so
means
damn
the part
fancy.
that means the part is in their library.
Okay.
Good. I just need their part number.
Google thinks it is.
I just
Yeah.
need their part number.
I haven't had a problem finding a part yet.
Well,
Well,
that's why I gave this one to you.
Yeah.
Shoot him an email when it's all set.
Yes.
The only parts I haven't been able to find are the obsolete stuff. Filter.
Yeah.
Well, I've run into that with bicolor a lot. There are not many choices. And second sourcing a footprint surface mount, second sourcing one that has the same footprint and stuff, it's always been a problem in our products trying to find a bicolor. So yeah, a few situations I just put two LEDs in.
Yeah, but I thought
Because you have 50 choices of each of those, whereas you have one or the other.
Yeah.
But I thought the bipolar was cool.
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, it's definitely a cool factor. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Definitely a cool factor.
Okay.
Actually, the front panel you design, I think, needs bipolar lights everywhere. You know.
Oh, so this is single drive. You just positive or negative with respect to a common?
Yeah, RS-232 transmit receive,
gotcha.
mark space.
Okay, yeah.
It is pretty cool. It is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just wanted to
absolutely. I'll
do
give
it.
you that.
You can put one in there, and then depending on which way you put it in, it's either marking or spacing where you want it to blink.
Hey, Patrick,
Yeah.
why don't you just steal one from one of Monahan's board designs?
Yeah, I'm sure it's on his boards. Oh well.
God, there must be 50 of, there's 50 of them in the library of bicolor LEDs.
Really?
They got 50 different, they got arrays and SMD, through holes, all kinds of them. Just put in bicolor,
No. I want you to find that exact one.
Yeah, it doesn't have that exact one in the library. So you have to go to a different
You
part.
said Google would find it for him.
Or you supply it yourself.
Well, that's what I've been doing. I buy them and I solder them in myself.
No, you can send.
Yeah.
Well, you can buy them and send them to them too.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
if I was doing
yeah,
hundreds of these, I would, but I've sold like
but you can
40.
find the equivalent LED. You can find the equivalent LED under a different manufacturer part number.
Oh.
Actually, I think the group here bought most of the 40, right?
Yeah, probably.
I love the boards you've done. Honestly, I mean, they work great. Honestly,
So when I asked Google to find an alternative to that part number, it said basically, good luck. The rectangular format nobody else uses.
Yeah, it probably says only a fool would use those in a production product.
Well, it did, but I didn't want to share that with you.
I don't think your quantities count for production anyway. We're still good. You can
Yeah.
use them.
As the song says, 50 ways to light an LED.
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, because there's some round, 3 millimeter round bicolor LEDs as well, by the way, by a company called King Bright.
Yeah, they're just round isn't as cool.
Yeah.
Hey, it's all right. It's your board. You
Hey,
get to
Patrick,
look
sounds
what
like
you want.
you'll be
You're,
hand
you're,
soldering
you're
these
gonna
for
you're
people.
gonna put these on your new front panel, aren't you? Just to mess with us.
What was that?
You're gonna put these on your new mini front panel.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, on and off is boring.
Yeah.
All right, so here's a problem for you floppy disk experts. Any of you in that category? So I mentioned that the FD3712, which is the discrete soft sector controller, all done with TTL prior to the 1771 days, I was having an issue where it was not writing reliably to the low tracks for some reason. It was reading all day just fine, and I forget who the other gentleman was on here last time, said maybe you should go out and align these discs again. You know, I never really have because soft sector is way more forgiving.
Right.
But alignment's fine. But I did finally find something that makes a difference. So this controller cannot format a disk. So you have to buy pre-formatted discs back in the day. Of course, I have all sorts of things that'll format that. So I just use my Tarbell. And when you format the disk, it is perfect. So in other words, your gaps are all original. The byte boundaries within your gaps are perfect. I then take that disk and use PC to flop to write what's going to run over on this 3712 later. And that's just the same Tarbell PC to flop I use for CPM or anything else. And it writes it, and 3712 reads it just fine. It runs just fine. The higher tracks seem to work fine. But I had this problem in the low tracks. And when it does have the fail, that sector is from then on no good. So it's like it's either destroyed the sector ID or the data mark.
Right.
You see, that gets written by the thing. So I don't see how it could be the data mark. It somehow clobbered the sector ID, but it can read and write all day without clobbering. It's not like this is a problem I run into with these drives normally. What I found is if I format it, but don't write any data to it on the Tarbell, just format it, and then upload all content of the disk on the 3712 and let it write it, it's fine. I can't picture any mechanism by which that's anything but a coincidence, but I've done it twice.
Could it be to do with how the head is being driven, the voltage being used on the head? Because you know how you have that setting for some drives where you can change
track 43, yeah.
The track 43 thing, yeah.
So this is all below that.
But no, bear with me for a second here.
Okay.
When the head writes to the disk, it puts a little dot down there of a magnetic field, right? That's basically how it works. It puts a dot yeah. But the size of that depends upon the strength of the signal coming out of the head. So I'm wondering if you're seeing a difference in the flux levels
Well, my
between the
main
two
thought
drives,
was trigger rates.
right, so that when the second drive gets there, it puts a smaller dot inside a bigger dot, and then when it's reading it back, it's getting weird stuff. Because in other words, if the first drive's too intense, and the second drive is not as intense, it might be messing up, and you get like a dot inside a dot. Because
Yeah.
there used to be a technique for like hard disk recovery. Because when you format a hard disk, you get bigger magnetic zones than you
Fluxes,
do
yeah.
when you flux zones, but then when you actually use it. And they would recover data by reading the edges with special heads that they could micro adjust. And
Right.
that's how hard disk recovery used to be done. I don't know if how it's done today because we don't have spinning media and hard disks anymore, pretty much. But they used to read the edge zones because the edge, depending upon how it was being written, both formatting and regular use, there are differences in the size of the flux zone. And I'm wondering if maybe that's a physical difference between the drives. Just a thought.
Yeah, I've
But that I don't know how you would prove that one way or the other.
well, I mean, I suspect something to do with trim erase, but the trim erase timing is okay. The shoe guards don't have a trim erase issue because it's a straddle head. The trim erase can end up smearing your disc if you step before the trim erase has gotten through on your standard. Um, everybody, what does everybody else use? What's it called?
I don't
God,
remember.
where the trim heads trail the main head. What's that called?
Oh,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Not
Yeah,
for
so there's about 475 microseconds is the typical recommended delay.
Okay.
Shugart had theirs immediately adjacent to the read-write head. Theoretically,
Right.
with Shugart, you could use smaller gaps. You could have gotten more on a disk. But everybody wanted disks to be interchangeable, so nobody took advantage of that because they couldn't read it on a Cume or something else that used the tunnel erase. There we go. Tunnel erase is
Oh,
more
yeah.
common, probably because Shugart patented straddle erase or something. Um, but anyway, that could end up clobbering something, but then it
You
would
said this
clobber
is only on the
itself.
lowest tracks?
If it was that, it would clobber itself, right? I mean, it would
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
because
yeah.
it doesn't write the ID mark, and yet the ID mark is damaged enough that it can no longer access that sector.
Oh, are you sure it doesn't rewrite that when it puts down a sector?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, because if you do it right, what happens is you read the ID mark, you then have 11 byte times to get your write head on,
Right.
at which point you write 6 zeros, which is the gap that's written by the actual. So that's
Mhm.
why soft sector isn't so critical in alignment, is because even if the index holds off, it doesn't use that for timing anyway. It actually looks and has to read a data mark
Right.
or an ID mark. And so you're dead on within a bit or so at that point. Yeah, it's making me
Yeah.
scratch my head. I'm not really, it could just be two coincidences. That happens. I mean, it won't be the
Is this
first
single or double density?
single.
Single density.
I mean, it's working fine. I mean, I guess I could repeat the experiment a third time, but
Yeah.
I don't see how writing that on another drive makes any difference because it totally overwrites it. It doesn't matter what the other
Right.
drive wrote for data. That's
Yeah.
completely overwritten.
So does it
Yeah.
only destroy the sector ID for the sector that you wrote, but the rest of them
I
on that
don't
track?
know. That's what I,
Oh,
because I'm
Well,
writing a bunch of sectors. And so I've not gotten it to, yeah, this could be a trailing sector that's killed by trim erase when the head starts moving too soon.
yeah.
If
Have
trim
you
erase
tried?
is 1,000 microseconds instead of 400, then it's going to start moving the head to the next track, and that trim erase is still on,
Right.
creating a smear, you know? And who
yeah.
knows? But that could destroy things. But the trim
Have
erase
you
is okay.
tried? Have you tried looking at the discs with something like a grease weasel and a good
No,
drive?
I haven't gotten that far. I mean, there's more
Yeah,
I could do.
that would, yeah, because that
I
might
was
tell
trying to
you
come up with
what's being changed.
theories
Hmm.
for what could possibly do this. And
Yeah.
that's what because yeah, then I'll go do an experiment and narrow it down rather than
Right.
just, hit it with a
Yeah.
sledgehammer. I wanted something more elegant. Yeah, here's a theory.
Uh-huh.
But because
Yeah.
You're just supposed to try random things.
anything that it could do, it doesn't matter that it was written by something else first because it's this one writing which could have just done it to itself. I mean, that's what made no sense to me.
Yeah.
Do you have two drives? Does it do the same thing on both drives?
Yes.
Yes.
So that suggests it's something to do with the way the drives work. Yeah. Okay.
Or the controller. There might be
Or the
something wrong with the
controller.
controller I don't know about.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can I
and
ask
why it affects this, I'm not sure.
Dumb question. Why can't they create their own formatted discs? I know it sounds like you had to buy them, or you're
They had
creating them on the other
150
system.
ICs on 2 boards, and we're out of board space.
Okay, gotcha.
They didn't know how to write the sector IDs.
Yeah,
Now,
gotcha.
what's
Okay.
so cool is then they came out with a 3812. This controller was used on the 360 and the 3712, single density IBM format. Then they came out with 3812, and the person who designed that was just a fucking genius. I loved it. The board has no blue wires on it. It's 100 ICs all on one board. So they went from 150 ICs on 2 boards to get single density, couldn't format. This double density one could do double or single, and it could format with 100 ICs on one board. I mean, it's still just TTL. The difference is this is all basically a bit slice machine. So it's got proms that run all the state machines, little TTL proms. And it essentially has its own language. You can essentially reverse engineer what's in these ROMs and turn them into a CPU word, sort of. And there's branches, there's compares. So yeah, the state machine is really very similar to a bit slice or a microcode of a processor. Just, I mean, nothing that's that amazing. That's how they designed CPUs in that day. So no, it wasn't that amazing, but I thought it was cool.
Do you know how they trigger their write head timing after they read the sector ID?
I'd have to go look.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's shift register.
Just some TTL logic that does some timing.
Yeah, definitely no one shots. This is well beyond that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
But it would not be working so fine on its own the whole time. It only has this problem when I say it only has this problem when I create it on the Shugarts and use it over here.
So if you just do the formatting, you're okay.
Every disk I've ever used on this for the last 10 years, I've created on the Shugarts. That's where I've written all of them, CPM and FDOS2, FDOS3, and I've never had any problems. So something's failing possibly, but I couldn't make CPM fail. I went and tried, because basically I'm writing the track 0, 1, having some issues. CPM sysgen writes the track 0 and 1. I couldn't make that fail. So yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
It worked well enough for me to use it for the last week and finish my video, so I'll probably move on.
Put it back down to the bottom of the list, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
I'll get to it when I've got all these other things that are less likely.
Well, next time I need it to do something important, then I'll have to fix it.
Oh, yeah. Patrick, did you see what Walt posted in chat?
Yeah, I've read all that.
Basically, they're saying you can if you have a part they don't stock, you can have the parts drop shipped to them and they'll install them for you.
Yeah.
Which, if you were making 1,000 boards, would make sense.
It would.
But
No, they'll even order parts. If you give them the part number and manufacturer, they'll go get the parts and put them on for you.
Right, but I bet there's a minimum for that.
Yeah, and I don't know what they charge. And
But you let them build boards. How much do they charge for building a S100 complexity board?
Well, like I said, the 2SAO boards come probably 98% built.
And they'll do through hole.
Yeah.
A lot of places wouldn't touch through hole.
Yeah.
That's almost a hand assemble job other than the wave solder.
Yep. Yeah, no, I just have socketed and then I put the chips in.
Right. Yeah, but they probably have to hand place the sockets. Maybe not.
No, like I said, I have to do what?
Yeah.
I have to do a regulator and.
So what do they charge you to do that? Do you know?
I'm trying to remember. It's not that much.
Obviously, you know, but.
Yeah. And actually, if you think about sockets, the pins are nice and straight unlike chips where they're all
bent
all over the place.
I mean, they will put the chips in too. I mean,
if you've got something.
It's all done domestically.
Oh no! This is China.
Oh, I thought this was the domestic. What's the domestic one that people
thousands of dollars?
Yeah, I just got a quote for 5 boards from one of them. They went like $1,800.
Okay, that sounds more reasonable for us. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Not 15.
15 versus 18.
$15 for 5 boards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just ordered 5 boards for $5. That's actually for work. Yeah, so you can't beat the pricing for prototypes.
Yeah.
Oh no, not at all.
And shipping's way more, and then UPS is going to charge me tariffs and then brokerage
Yeah.
shipping.
Yeah, I got 10 prototype boards with shipping for $96, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, until you get the bill later from FedEx or UPS.
Yeah.
See, I mean, the whole point of, well, I don't want to get political.
The
whole point of that, ignore
gonna-
anything over X $100 makes sense.
Yes.
Yes.
But then you got things like Temu and these others that make 1 million orders under $800 and skip all of the revenue that you should be getting on a large commercial venture.
Yeah.
So now all these little things that we used to do for 50, $60, now they're $200-300.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Tim, the pick and place machine straightens the pins on the ICs automatically.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a video. I saw one video on YouTube that showed it going through it. It picks up a chip off of the out of the tube feeder.
Right.
And it goes over to this other thing. It sets the chip in there. That squeezes it just like the manual ones we have.
Yeah.
Picks the chip up and puts it on the board.
Yeah, my life got a lot easier when I found that little manual tool to straighten the pins.
It's on my wish list for Father's Day.
Yeah, there you are.
Once I found out about it, I wasn't about to
3D
not
print
have
one like Walt's there. That's a 3D printed version, isn't it?
No,
Walt?
That's a real one. Yeah, I've got those.
I have a real one, but I have a 3D printed one.
Does it work?
Yeah, your 3D printed has springs in it.
Yeah, it's not springs. It's got the ends have
plastic.
It's flexibles. Yeah, like it's a thin plastic. So I'm sure it's going to break after a while.
Yeah, I mean, I 3D print one of those for doing all your, the
that kind of stuff.
I found this one that's really nice that I 3D printed, and I'll use it till it breaks, and then print another one.
This is only a couple of bucks.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I like the real ones too, but I did 3D print one way back when, and it worked.
These are made out of metal, so they're not going to break.
Yeah.
Oh no, even the ones I bought were plastic.
Yeah, mine are plastic.
This one's aluminum. I've had this.
Ooh.
Wow.
Either aluminum or steel. It's pretty heavy. It might be steel.
Seems like that'd be a static issue.
I've had this for like 50 years now.
I guess it could be painted with something anti-static.
Yeah, if you got a aluminum one machined, that'd be not inexpensive.
I bought that thing about 30, 40 years ago.
There you are.
It was cheap back then.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if any of you guys do the old teletype stuff. So back when the phone company owned all the 1/4-inch patch plugs that the operators used and all that stuff.
Yeah.
These things were all machined from solid brass.
Yep.
I'm used to seeing the ones I tore apart, as a musician, wiring up guitar cords and stuff. And then I saw these old ones, and you open it up, and you can just tell this was a solid hunk of brass. They machined this part out of it. They thread it for these microscopic screws. And it's no wonder. I mean, you own this stuff. You want it to last forever.
My dad retired from Northwestern Bell, so I remember just racks and racks of those cables, and he'd have dozens of those patch cables, and they're good. Those 1/4-inch jacks are good quality stuff.
I had no idea we made stuff that fancy.
Yeah, you go back a few years before modern manufacturing existed, and everything started as a block of metal.
Yeah.
Or a block of plastic. You weren't even molding things.
Or a block of phenolic.
There you go.
Yeah, phenolic,
Oh.
Or Bakelite.
Oh. Now you are aging yourself. I haven't seen Bakelite used in something for a very long time. But I have, so I'm old enough. That's what it is. Oh, well.
Todd, I need to go take a look. You mentioned the selenium rectifier in that thing. I don't remember ever seeing one of those.
Yeah, there's I think it's I remember it's on the parts diagram. It's kind of
Interesting.
a.
I need to go pull that. I think I have that schematic somewhere. I saw you mention that.
Okay.
Man, I do not remember that. I assumed it was a tube rectifier.
Yeah, there is a diode. I think on one of the supplies there's a diode, tube diode rectifiers, and then there's a selenium rectifier on one of the
I
other.
had never in my life seen a selenium rectifier until a Model 15 teletype power supply. Power
Yeah.
supply weighed a good 110 pounds.
Oh
And
yeah.
I saw that thing with all the fins in it, and I looked up, well, what is this thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a rectifier. Wow.
You don't want to be around them when they go bad because they smell
They
horrendous.
stink. Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
they stink terribly, and so they're kind of known to fail. So they're usually
Yeah, the other popular one had these mercury tubes that turned blue.
right. Yeah,
I kind of,
yeah,
man, if that had been the power supply that came with mine, I would have definitely restored it. That was the coolest looking
right.
thing.
The thing with the selenium rectifiers is, in this case, I'm pretty sure it's a full wave rectifier in there, but it has a lot more voltage drop than a standard diode. So if you put a solid state bridge rectifier in there, you have to add some resistance in there to get the appropriate voltage drop through there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll have to experiment with that and see what that
I
looks
just don't remember seeing that in there. I remember seeing tubes. I remember seeing the air capacitor for tuning, and then the big two transformers. Was it underneath?
Yeah, it should be on the. I think it's more on the side of the chassis. Let me see. I've got my.
Oh no, they don't care about that. But anyway.
Yeah. I'm curious now, but yeah, it seems.
I just want to know if it makes it. I spent more time packing that than I've ever spent on anything. It better make it.
Great. No, that's great.
Patrick. Oh, sorry.
Should be there Tuesday. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, Patrick, I just looking at the screenshot you sent me of the new board.
Mm-hmm.
It's missing the bicolor LEDs.
Yeah, I don't want to solder anything. Oh, funny.
Well, I'm old enough to remember having to put a little heat sink, spring-loaded heat sink on the leads of LEDs and transistors when you soldered them.
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember having to do that. And I've got a couple of boards that I built. I've got one of the Jade bus probes that I built 40 plus years ago, and I didn't have to do that.
Now, this is an older gentleman. He was probably in his 20s. Was helping me as a 12-year-old solder something in like 72.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, he had all these little heat sinks that would snap onto the leads. It was an old article from Radio Electronics back when it was a small format. It was a really cool little book. I still have it. It's all yellow now, but
that could also be a function of the type of the quality of soldering irons.
Soldering iron, yeah.
Because you look at some of the older soldering irons, and they were really meant for doing sheet metal work, not for putting electronic components in. Yeah, they were perfectly sized for your stained glass window manufacturing.
Mike, if you look at the pictures that you sent me and the one of the under chassis, in the bottom there's a blue square with a bolt right through the middle of it. That's the selenium rectifier.
Okay, so it's tiny compared to what I was expecting.
Yeah, it looks like from the pictures maybe 1.5 inches or so by inch and a half.
The selenium rectifier and the teletype thing, it was a good 6 inches by 8 inches.
Oh yeah,
yeah, with big old fins in it, like it was a heat sink. Okay, that makes way more sense then. Okay, I did see that thing.
Yeah, but the teletype's running how many amps?
Yeah, well, I mean I guess those tube amps don't draw a lot of tube amplifiers. Do not draw a lot of current because it's all such high voltage. Yeah,
right. Yeah, I bet that teletype's pulling quite a few amps through for driving all that mechanism. Yeah,
especially driving all the pins for punching tapes.
Well, the teletype used cams, right, for punching. Was it a cam system for punching?
Yeah, there's no solenoids for punching.
Right. No. So a lot of these older machines would rotate cams and then use that, depending upon whether you got the wide, to do the punch or no punch. But which is why they were so mechanically complex.
Well, the power supply is mainly just for the loop, the data loop.
Yeah. Well, that's right, because everything runs off a motor. Right?
The distributor.
Current loop, yeah.
Yeah, the mechanism runs off a motor. It's all shaft drive.
Run off a motor. I mean, they had DC ones for the military that had to run off of batteries and stuff.
Kleinschmidt,
yeah.
the old Kleinschmidts.
So Terry, what's that board you've been holding up?
That's the SBC 100 I just bought.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
Haven't powered it up yet. It just came today.
What who makes it?
Was it
That's
SD?
SD.
Oh, it's a SD system board?
Yeah.
Patrick's an expert in them.
Hey, Patrick, I may have to talk to you.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh yeah, we got CPM running on it. We got everything running on it.
Yeah, yeah. I have.
I got all the ROMs, all the documentation, all everything.
Oh, cool. Yeah, may have to catch up with you on that.
Is that
It was
better
cool.
than the JAIR board?
No,
What's the
no, it's
Z80?
totally, it's different. It doesn't have the amount of memory. It's got room for what, four?
It's a vintage board.
Yeah,
It's like 1K RAM, and then there was like a few ROMs you can put on there. You can 3 ROMs.
Yeah, it has 2 chips that are 1K of RAM, 1K times 8, and then it's got one ROM and room for 3 more.
Yeah.
You can't put like those big 4161s or whatever they are, RAM chips in 24-pin sockets?
Those were 27, were they 2716s or 2708s? I mean 24.
Well, that's an EEPROM, but there's RAM chips that are 24-pin too.
Yeah.
Well, not in a 10-pin socket, you can't.
No.
He's talking about in the EEPROM sockets. They probably didn't run read-write lines to them.
Yeah.
There's a
Plus, they're probably going to be in the wrong addresses.
Right. There's a nice SD Systems prom burner, S100 prom burner on eBay right now if you want to have some real fun.
I think I've got one of those.
It's like an extra high board with the ZIF socket.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that the other day and I thought, no, I have a prom burner.
The guy has one thing. Yeah, like he's brand new, but he has a lot of boards listed, which kind of scaring me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Nothing against him. I just,
on the SD 100 board, can you just disable the onboard RAM and then use an external RAM board?
Yeah, because it only has 1K RAM.
Yeah, it was just enough if you're doing something light, like it was, it's little, I don't know,
industrial control.
Right, but if you want to build
you.
a bigger computer, you need more RAM, and
yeah, you disable that.
Yeah, I think it provides stack for the monitor and stuff like that.
And it had serial ports on it.
Yeah,
it has a serial port and a printer parallel port.
But yeah, a lot of your industrial control type stuff, you wanted a lot of ROM for the program. Didn't need a lot of RAM typically to run, a CNC or whatever you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the single board, the Altair 680 main board was used as a process control board a lot because it's essentially an SBC. But yeah, so these boards like this, people would have nothing but that board, running, or probably made some custom board for additional, interface IO for hooking into their factory, so to speak. But
yeah, the Flex 64K worked awesome for that board because I was able to put RAM up it. I think it's FF. I can't remember where there's RAM at the top, and then I was able to put both the ROMs where they were supposed to be, RAM in between, when I wasn't sure if the board was working right. The Flex board, that Flex board is awesome.
Yeah, it comes in handy because it's all the problems I had getting different boards. Man, I need to put a hole here. I need to have RAM there. Yeah.
So I was able to actually run the board using the Flex. Then I can say, okay, well, now I'm going to work on the RAM. I'm going to work on the ROM. I'm going to work on. It was great.
Yeah, the only thing I wish is that I need to squeeze code out of ALTMON so that it can find the top of RAM for a stack. Because quite often there'll be no RAM in a system I'm throwing together, some oddball thing where ALTMON wants it.
Right.
And so I have to make a custom ALTMON for it that's got a stack at 8,000 hex or something.
That's the first thing.
So ALTMON stack is fixed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't have enough bytes left to do a search short of, I didn't write ALTMON. It's basically vector graphics, and I've tweaked a few things. The question is, do I get rid of something, or what do I do? Because It would really be handy if it just found the top of RAM itself.
And how long? How many? I mean, how many instructions do you need to find the top of RAM?
Oh, I don't know exactly, not that many,
It's
but
not that many, yeah.
yeah.
Because
But I've got like 1 byte left. It's going to take more than that.
yeah, definitely more than
Yeah.
that. No, so I was thinking when I made my modified version of John's monitor for his Z80 board, that had the code in there to find top of memory.
Oh no, it's easy to do.
It's easy to do, yeah.
I've done some squeezing already. One of the main squeezes I did was to get the dump command to show hex and ASCII.
Ooh.
Because back then, the original one had a dump hex and a dump ASCII.
Oh,
Just
so you combine them.
one
Yeah.
or the other. But to get those both into one, which is what we're all kind of used to seeing, and I like it,
Yeah.
ended up, oddly enough, taking up more space than getting rid of that other command. But anyway, see, I don't know of a lot of compression I could do. I've already done a lot of that. But anyway,
And
someday
there's
I'll do that.
none of the functions you can live without. Yeah.
Well, some you could. I mean, who uses checksum anymore, you know?
Nobody. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. So you
Yeah,
could
I
delete
use-
checksum and put this in place of that, maybe.
It's dump hexo in and out. And boot,
Yeah.
which just
Boot.
jumps to FF.
Yeah. But yeah, checksum, that might be one worth getting rid of checksum and using the space that frees up.
Give you the evil answer and ask Claude or Chat GPT to optimize it for you and see what you get. It broke my program when I did that. When I did my Jomon, it completely busted it up. But it shrunk down all. I mean, I had a little bit of a menu type thing and all that stuff that obviously didn't need. But
Yeah.
Well,
Does it need to be non-destructive, or can it be a destructive memory test or check? Is there anything you're trying to preserve when you enter ALTMON, or can it just wipe everything out?
That's a good
oh
point.
no, I make it protect. I wouldn't let it destroy anything.
Yeah, non-destructive.
Yeah,
Right,
so it'd be
could you do
non-destructive.
a read and then you try and write something and read back if it's changed, and then you put back the original.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, with 6800s, that's hard to do because you end up hitting I/O devices because everything's memory mapped. 8080 generally is not memory mapped, but there are memory mapped devices. For example, the North Star disk controller. So you could go end up writing to somebody's disk by mistake.
Maybe
so
that's what's
it's
wrong
not
with your disk drive.
necessarily something you're.
yeah,
I mean, if it was always in an Altair, I'd have an option where you could set it on the front panel even.
Right.
But
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or you can just put in your new stack address, reassemble it, and burn it, and
Yeah,
it's just inconvenient.
Right.
I might run it through Claude.
I like I said, I did something similar with when I did my monitor program.
We need
You're
to
getting hooked on Claude, Patrick.
What's that?
You know, don't do it, guys. Use your brains.
I agree with you.
Well,
We need to use our brains in these days.
it's a more of a curiosity if it will do it, I guess.
Well, Mike, I've not had great luck with what I've let it try, code-wise. But then I'm not paying for anything. Are you any of you guys paying for it?
I'm paying for Claude right now, and really what I'm doing is I'm
Claude
having
code. Isn't there like a Claude coding?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I'm really having it doing is reading source like SimH source code and creating like documentation for the source. You know, reading.
Oh man, something to write manuals for you, boy. That's every software engineer's dream. Oh,
yeah,
man.
exactly. Because I don't like doing that part.
No.
Nobody does. Nobody does.
No, I actually fed it the SIO schematic and just said, make me some truth tables for these things. So I can just run through it and say, like, yep, if this is high and that's low, that'll make this do that. And blah, blah, blah,
I can figure out a lot of stuff. I had Claude.
Yeah.
So I got a program, the 6800 version of a program, and I had it write the 8080 version just to see how it did. And it gave me all these roles of, I'm going to use this register in the 8080 to be the A accumulator, this one for the B. I'll do this for every time it does something that the 8080 can't, or vice versa. But the code sucked.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have run or not, but I just started going through it and I said, well, no, I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have done that. You could get rid of these 4 instructions and just do this, you know?
It's kind of like auto routing. I think it's easier. I think it's easier just to do it yourself.
So I guess the question is, how good would the paid version do, though.
I don't know. That's what I said. I just like for fun just to run ALTMON through it, and it probably will break the whole thing.
Yeah.
But
The free version runs out of horsepower pretty quickly if you give it anything complex.
Okay, so that's the main thing is it wouldn't let me try again.
Yeah.
Okay, and I assume that's because I'm not paying.
Right. Yeah. The
Yeah.
amount of tickets or whatever you use.
Yeah.
Yeah. I asked it to do something for me the other day in terms of circuit design, and it gave up. It said, "Oh, you've used all your time up," before it even gave me a single answer. So the free version is fun to play with, but if you're doing anything serious, you run out of
Yeah,
horsepower
but then
pretty
again,
quickly.
it's a business. I can understand. You
Yeah.
know.
But
I
then
do
you just
like-
switch over to Codex and start using that one. You continue on with another one. Codex works great.
Well, but a lot of it's iterative. You want it to
Right. It's very iterative. Yeah.
go on from what it just
Yeah.
did.
And that's what I love about Claude. Like I can actually instruct it how I want certain things. Like it was using initialize with an S. I just tell it has. You just have these MP files, and you give it rules and instructions, and it's really neat. I'm loving it for making documentation. I'm
Yeah.
not sure the code is like
And I would have loved that back in the day.
Go ahead.
Before I quit and ran my own business full time, I was essentially military contract. We did radar simulators for F-14s and AV-8Bs and all these other things. And it was a great job. And I was a project manager. And so I had to get 10, 12 engineers to write what was called the triple D, the detailed design document. So you had several levels of documents that had to go through reviews. Any of you in the military remember this stuff. Anyway, the detailed design document was like, this piece of code does this. They want flow charts or this or just algorithms or something. I mean, the code's your algorithm, right? Well, of course not. It doesn't pass.
The code's your documentation.
What we established was the header at each of you have like the header at the top of a subroutine or each module. We had a very well-defined format. And then I essentially wrote equivalent to runoff. You remember the old text processors?
Yeah.
Go through all the code, pull out all those top sections, and created the detailed design document from it. Military loved it. And we didn't have to write any of I mean, that's the document that's 3 and 4 inches thick. We didn't have to write it because it was in the code. You wanted that in your code anyway. You wanted the definition of the inputs, the outputs. Here's what this module does. I thought it was great. So that was AI in 1983.
That's awesome.
I got to run, guys. I think somebody's
Okay.
looking for me.
Okay.
You guys have a great week. We'll talk to you next
Okay.
I
week.
like your office.
Happy
Yeah.
Memorial Day, man.
Thanks, you guys
Yeah.
too.
So Terry, that SD100, is that like a master Z80 board, or is that just a standalone SBC?
Well, it's designed to be, I think, just a standard SBC. Patrick knows a lot more about them than I do.
Well, I mean, it's not. I wouldn't call it an SBC because it doesn't have a disk controller. It doesn't have RAM. It's basically a
Very
Z80 with ROM, 1K of RAM, and a serial port.
Right.
So it's
Oh, well, see, I was wondering, I got this Teletech Z80 board,
Yeah.
but this is supposed to be a slave rather than,
Right.
it has to work with a master.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've been,
Yeah.
So
The
that
slave.
became real popular before the PCs took over, is that you
Right.
get multi-user systems in a single chassis. Everybody had their own CPU. Every CPU had 64K or the maximum it could get. They had their own serial ports, and then there was a main processor
Yeah.
that was technically in charge of it all.